welcome into the round 2 Masters show. Little late here. Let's see if I can get zoomed in a little bit. Pretty wild day today across kind of every spectrum. You had a lot of chalk that did not play very well. Case in point, John Rahm, Minwoo Lee, Bob Mack, McNeely. Let's see. I mean, even Bryson was 22% owned in Showdown round 1. Nikolai Højgaard. I mean, all those guys +4 were Siwoo, 19%. We'll see what they can do tomorrow in terms of trying to make the cut. Let me know in the comments who you guys are sweating the most. Of course, I'm going to have my biggest sweat of those guys is going to be Rahm, most like a lot of other people, I'm guessing. I don't I don't know. Just kind of watching him, like it felt like he could have scraped out, like if he just had a decent putter, he could have scraped out like a 2 or 3 over day today. But his game was just kind of all over the place. Decent off the tee approach was not very good, and he lost 3.6. Putting, and that's with making a pretty good 10-foot par save on number 17, really there too. So we'll see tomorrow. I mean, if you look at where the cut is projected to be, Data Golf has, let me see where they ended up percentage-wise. Yeah, so looking at probably 4, maybe 5 over is what I'm looking at. 38% to +4, 29% to +5. It is 20% at +3, but in my opinion, just with how I know there's going to be like no wind tomorrow, which is, kind of leads me into the showdown discussion for round 2, is that there is absolutely no wind in the forecast that I'm seeing. So it is going to make it easier in that sense slightly, but there wasn't a ton of wind today. This place is just firm and fast, and there's no way around it. I don't care how much wind there is. It's not going to make this course easy. But, some of these guys on your week-long teams are nowhere near out of making the cut at this point. If they shot like John Rahm +6 today, he goes out and shoots. He don't even have to probably get into the 60s to make the cut. He can probably shoot 70 and make the cut, to be honest. So you got him, Minwoo, same thing. Now, they've got to play good tomorrow, but, I mean, these guys, you got to play good if they're, going to do anything for you anyway this week. So if they go out and do what we, think they should do, these guys can definitely still make the cut, but they're going to need a good day. For round 2, it's not as cool early on in the morning. I will say that. So I'm not going to be scared to play some of these super early tee times. We don't have the tee times up on the sheet just yet. We will get them up. Let me see if it's updated just yet for where we do the auto pull. Yeah, let me see if I can get it pulled in here. While we're talking, just so we can have it. We'll do that after. I don't want to sit here and do that. I'll do that after the show. Looks like I'll pull up the app and we'll kind of go side by side. I don't really have a preference, but it is going to dry out, even more tomorrow evening. So I think the earlier guys are going to have a little bit of an easier time playing, but it's not going to be soft. Don't get me wrong. It's just not going to get as crusty as it's going to get as the week goes along. Tomorrow morning should be the best time. So going to look at some stats. We're going to look at some ownership from round one. I'm going to kind of talk through what I think we're going to see in round two. Let me sort this by price, and we'll go. So this is what, kind of in line with what we've seen for week long. We saw for round number one. Today we saw Scotty and Rory 8 and 11% on, and then all the ownership went to Bryson to Fitzpatrick for a little bit less. We did get another discount from today on Scotty for round two. He's down to 13. Makes it slightly easier to get to him. Bryson went up, played bad. I think he's going to get super low on tomorrow. Rahm, he went up as well from his showdown price. I don't know what we're going to get from him. A lot of people liked him. Do they just go back and hope that he is better tomorrow? Maybe. I think he's going to be slightly higher on than Bryson. But I still think he's going to be in that 10 to 15% range, which is interesting. I mean, round two is kind of one of those weird ones. You don't want to put too much stock into one round of strokes gain data when we have tons of rounds of data coming in and reasons why we liked people coming in. So a lot of times, especially for round two, I'll kind of not just look away from the stats, but I'm not going to let it dictate everything. So, like, if I really like somebody coming in and they didn't play great, I'm not going to just jump off instantly. So, Rahm, I'm going to play 4 lineups tomorrow in the showdown, and I'm probably going to have him on at least 2 of those. Rory played great today, 5 under. I think he continues to play well. Scotty, I think he does as well. His ownership's probably going to go up a little bit, 15 to 20 maybe here. I don't know. 15 is probably safe on a number. Xander, I think, is going to be popular again. Ludwig played, pretty well. He just kind of he struck the ball well. He just had some blow up holes around the green, and they all happened in the same stretch. Cam Young, about the similar price. I think he came on. He came on strong on the back nine today. Really liked what I seen out of him. That's something that I sometimes will look at. Is somebody starts out bad, so their stats, if you're looking at them, are probably not going to be great. Yeah, he was kind of flat across the board except off the tee. But if you go and zoom in on Data Golf, does a good job of this. And if you look at Cam Young, his stats from the front nine to the back nine, he lost 2 strokes on approach on the front nine, gained almost 2 on the back nine. He gained 1 off the tee on the back, almost 2 on approach, gained 1 around the green. So I think he's a great play. I think we get I think he continues to run, forward again. 9,500, decent price there. Fitzpatrick, not a great day for him. Either he started out pretty well and then kind of fell off a little bit. I think his ownership comes down just a little bit, but I think people will go back to him. Tommy, same price as today. I think he's a really good play. I like him a lot this week. Reed, I'm a little torn on Reed. I liked him a lot for the week, but I don't know. He started out great. His stats look solid across the board. He did gain 3.5 putting. And the thing that I, just kind of watching and tracking him some, when he got to that back nine, he was scrambling a lot. So let's look at his stats, same way we did Cam Young. He had 2 eagles on the front, just gained absurd amounts of strokes everywhere on the front nine. And then on the back nine coming in, he lost 1.6 on approach, lost 1 around the green, gained a couple putting that saved his score, and kept him at -3. I don't love that. That's not, the type of thing. Kind of 2 holes got him under par. Without those, he's probably -1 without the eagles. If he just made birdie. So I'm probably going to be off Reed tomorrow. Hideki, I think, is a solid play. Like to see his putting be good. I think he turns the ball striking around just a little bit. Justin Rose, Minwoo got a price bump, played awful today. Bobby Mack, 8 over. Same thing. I don't know that I can go to Bobby Mack. 8,700, 8 over today. He was flipping off the camera the holes. I don't think I can go back there. Maybe somebody will, 8,700, and he flips back and shoots 3 under and still misses the cut or something. I don't know. I'm going to be off. I liked a lot what I seen out of Jordan Spieth today, even though he fell off there towards the end, shot even. Like him, Brooks was solid. Again, just kind of the same thing for him. And a little bit of what I worried about, we talked about last night. I said I think, I don't really think he's in danger of like missing a cut or anything. But to me, it's like, can he be consistent enough with his around the green play, and even off the tee? He's been great with his irons all year. Can he be good enough around the green and consistent enough off the tee to kind of move forward and bump into that, contention or top 10? He's setting 17th right now. I think he has a decent day, tomorrow. Let's see. Just kind of talking through players and kind of, the things that I like to see. Colin, we're going to get 300 off. He's going to be completely unowned again. I'm a lot confused about what's going on with him. If you watch him, it looks like his back is hurting when he walks and things, and obviously there's something going on, but it's like his interview after, he's saying he doesn't have pain in his back. He just is worried about it holding up, and it's like a trust thing. And I'm like, well, I just don't understand that. Maybe I've just never had that type of injury to deal with. Got the little man coming in here. Maybe he can give us a pick for tomorrow. Who's going to play good tomorrow in the Masters?
Who's playing?
Who's playing?
Yeah.
Everybody's playing. Brooks, Scotty, Rory, Bryson. Who's going to play good tomorrow?
I don't play Bryson because I have a friend, Bryson.
Bryson's the pick tomorrow. All right, Bryson's the pick because he has a friend named Bryson. Okay, so you heard it here first. Bounce back day for Bryson. Yeah, so to me, it's a little bit easier to play like a Scotty in Showdown and some of these upper price players, just because if you kind of look compared to the main slate, all these guys are kind of depressed in pricing. Like, with the exception of a few that kind of bumped up. But when we get down into the lower sevens range, you're going to see like some of these people that just kind of feel too cheap. And then you also got the $1,000 difference from Scotty on the main slate too, so it makes it a little bit easier. So as we get down into, you've got Akshay went 300 up, Siwoo 2 up, Bridgman, I think he is a really good play. Nice to see him come out and shoot under par. Him and Goddard, I'll lump them together. They are the first timers that have been in really, really good form this year. Just always one of those things where you're kind of watching to see if they can handle the pressure, I guess, here, or the course management. And they come out and both did that today, and they're both, going to be upper sevens. I mean, there's one that's, Bridgman's a little bit higher than he was on the main slate, but Goddard up is slightly lower. So I like Goddard up a lot, Bridgman a lot.
I like Bridgman a lot.
You like Bridgman a lot?
Yeah.
All right.
Sam Duffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey Connors, weird stats for him today. He lost 3 strokes off the tee, and I think that bled over into he was one that I was tracking a lot, being on one of the Millie teams for me, and he was a little bit, I don't know, all over the place. Obviously, it was off the tee today, lost 3. I think that bled into his iron game. Some of his where he was hitting approaches from was just not in a good spot for him to attack, and he hit like 11. He hit one of the worst iron shots I've probably ever seen him hit, and it's kind of weird because he went on that stretch right there. 11, he hit an awful drive and then really couldn't do anything. It's showing that he gained 0.28 on approach on that hole. But the second shot was awful, and then he steps up on 12, and it's because of the tee shot. He didn't really have a shot on 11 there, but he steps up on 12 and hits it in the water, takes a double, and then he comes back, on like 14 was another one. He was kind of, it shows it was kind of slightly a gain off the tee on 14, but he was kind of right over in that mess, and he hit an awful iron shot, lost 0.6 on that shot, and then chipped it in for him there on 14, and then he kind of grinded his way in. He was under another tree off the tee on 18. So I don't know. He's one that's at 7,800. I think he's going to be completely unowned tomorrow. He got up to 11%. We're going to get down to, let's see, So Connors just being kind of stayed around the price tag that he was at for the main slate. I don't really know what to do to him. Don't like his ball striking, but again, I think the irons were a little bit more dictated by what he was doing off the tee. So if he could straighten that out, that's kind of uncharacteristic for Connors. Let me look back, and this is what I mean by like looking at one round of data. Corey Connors was kind of flat with his off the tee play at the Valspar. Go in there, okay. He was flat at the Valspar, but he had gained strokes in every tournament all the way back to August. Last time he lost strokes off the tee was at the FedEx St. Jude, which I think was a tournament or a playoff event. So I think I'm going to throw out the 3 strokes lost off the tee. Even at the Masters, like that's another thing that I would look at is like, all right, how has he been off the tee at the Masters? He's gained every single since 21 when we've had strokes gain data. He's gained off the tee every year except 24. He lost 0.5 for the entire week, and he lost 3 in one round today. I just think I'm going to throw that out and move along. Shane Lowry was great with his irons today. That's kind of nice to see. I think he gets kind of a bump on ownership because his price went down. People, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, they like to play people who are under par, just kind of with the thought that they're playing well, which they are. But again, it's kind of one round of data, one round. They could go out tomorrow and shoot +6, and it be kind of flip both the other way. What, buddy? So I think he gets a little bit of a bump. I'm not sure I'm sold on Lowry. Adam Scott, he was a little bit up and down today as well. Actually lost with his irons. He had like stretches, I think. So like 13 was a great shot into the green there when he made eagle. Let me see here. He actually ended up losing. And then 12, he made birdie 2. So he gained on the back 9 coming in. He kind of got it straightened out other than 15 when he hit it in the water. Lost a whole stroke there. Outside of that, he gained 1.6 on approach on the back 9, even with 18 where he ended up making a bogey there to end the round and finish it even. He was playing really good golf, whereas on the front 9, he just kind of started out slow, lost 2 strokes on approach, wasn't putting himself in good positions, started out with the bogey, not a good second shot there, into 1, and then we got to 7, and wasn't in a good position, off the tee really, not a great spot, and then he birdied 8, and then he put himself in a bad spot with the second shot on 9, a really tough shot. So he had stretches. I think he is a fine play. Jake Knapp, I really like him. Liked what I saw out of him today. Kind of started out not so great, but fought back. I'm off Nikolai Højgaard, a little price bump. Don't really love what I've seen today. I think he chipped in somewhere too. Which is going to inflate. Sepp Straka, I kind of like him. You got the 200 discount. I don't think anybody's going to want to play him again. And I'm going to go back, or I will not go back. I'm going to go to some Sepp, I think. Like that. Let's see here. Let me see. So here's the range where you've got Russell Henley, who stayed the same price, pretty popular, 14% today. Jason Day played really well, 3 under, gained a lot of that with his putter, but it was solid everywhere else. And then you got Sam Burns, who was, of course, tied for the lead. Great throughout his bag, only 7,300. He was 6% today. He's going to be much higher than that. He'll get into the 20s tomorrow. So I'm torn on what to do with him. I don't like ever in like a round 2 playing a guy who just shot 5 under, played a really, really good round. Do I think he's going to go out and do that again? To me, no. Does he have to do that again? Also, no. That's the only thing. I kind of have a mental block with playing those types of plays. And he is only 7,300. But again, that could be a reason to say, maybe that means, just being a little more volatile player. Maybe he won't back that up. You've got Harris English, JJ Spawn, Kurt Kitayama. All these guys are great plays, in my opinion. Kitayama gained 5 strokes on approach today. The only place he struggled was around the green, but when he got on them, he was great. And when he was, hitting irons into them, he was great as well. Kind of the reasons that, I liked him coming in. So I'm going to be back on Kitayama. English, he was another one of those. He was kind of like Scott. He was really up and down today. Had a rough start. He was 3 over through 7. Made the birdie on 8, birdied 10 with really good, a long game into 10. And then he went on the run on after he bogeyed 11, got 3 in a row back 12 to 14. And then he hit like this awful drive off the tee on 17. And this is what I mean by like sometimes if you're not watching the strokes game or watching the golf, the strokes gain numbers sometimes like don't tell the whole story. Because if you look at the hole 17 for Harris English, if you look at 17 for Harris English, it shows that he lost 0.3 off the tee with that shot. He was in the complete other fairway because his ball went dead in the center of the trees and it kicked it over, and he had like no shot. Anyway, he then like hits over, and it shows that he lost 0.82 with his approach shot on that hole. And if you look at, let me go back to like the tracker. So I don't know if he hit a tree or what, but he like just got over the tree, had like 60, 70 yards in, and then flew the green on his third. So that could be where some of that lost strokes is coming from. But again, it's like the tee shot got him completely out of kilter, out of position. And then around the green, he like really mishit his fourth shot, and then got that up and down. But and then like number 7 is another one for him. I think it really the short version of this is to me it really pays to go and deep dive some of these golfers if you look at strokes gained, because here's what English on number 7 as well, like he was in the left trees. That's a tough driving hole, kind of a narrow chute to go down. He was in the middle of the trees on the left, and it shows that he lost 0.1 strokes with that shot. And missed it like way right, where he didn't really have any, chance to do anything with that shot. And then he lost 1.3 on that one shot. So to me, and then I don't know if he like fluffed the next pitch shot from where he was at there, which may get factored into around to the approach as well. But again, to me, it comes back to off the tee. So if you take out those 2 holes of approach stats for him, you're talking about 2.6, 2.7 strokes gained approach for Harris English today, which would rank him. Where would that rank him? I mean, he's going to be like, he would be like 7th in the field if you did that. Now, I know we don't get to take those shots out, but it just, like I said, the strokes gained don't tell the whole story sometimes. So I really like how Harris English played today. Score could have been even better, could have been even worse. And he's a good price tomorrow at only 7,300. So I'll be going back there. I like him more than a Sam Burns coming off the way, that he finished today. Some of the other guys down here, Sam Stevens played really well today, continued the great iron play, wasn't great off the tee, but continued some really solid iron play. Keegan, the ball striking was there. I'd never really liked Keegan here, but I suppose you could go back or go to him. I know some people liked him today. Let's see. Let's see here. Trying to pick out I'm not going to talk through every player in this 6K range. So Stevens, let's see this is where, we can kind of see some of these guys' strokes gained stats. Yeah, Gary was solid most of the day, so I think he's interesting. Gerard was like top putting in the field today, so I don't think I'm going to go back there. Nick Taylor, wow, that's Harry Hall, 8th on approach today. That's one I want to dive into a little bit more. So Harry Hall, I know he chipped one like into the water on 11. I think it was either out of the, I don't know if I think it might have been out of the bunker. Yeah, he lost, and then I don't know what he did on 17. That would be interesting to know. But yeah, the raw strokes gained stats for him on the approach is promising. And then he lost strokes putting. I'm pretty sure we talked about this on one of the shows this week about how he hadn't lost strokes putting in like I don't know how long. And he did today. So interesting, maybe to go back to him. What he ended up shooting today? 5 over. I mean, he's going to be like completely unowned. And seeing, a glimmer of life with the irons could be interesting. Nick Taylor, I think that, is a really good play. He was just solid overall. All throughout his bag today, 1 under, still in the 6K range. Aaron Rye, same thing. I mean, he was like very solid all the way through his bag. Let's see, Sergio, nope. Zach Johnson, no. Brennan was great off the tee, great ball striking. He was one. Let me kind of deep dive him a little bit because he is cheap. I mean, that's what he's known for is the off the tee stuff. Yeah, so he was up and down, around the green, up and down putting. He had, a couple really good putts, a couple really bad putts. I think that's what you're going to see, though, with some of these first timers. You're going to see them have, kind of up and down stretches with every part, of their game, especially the putting and around the green. Wrighton is a guy that I mentioned last night that had a lot of stuff going on with the betting odds. He did every bit of what he ended up shooting around the green and putting today. So that's a pure fade for me. Anytime that we see stats like that, that's pretty much it. So Brennan is okay. I don't love getting past like Rye. I don't love really going past $6,600 Aaron Rye. And I think he's going to get a little bit of ownership tomorrow just with the 300 discount, shot 1 under today. We'll see. I think that's about it. I've got a couple more things, but if you have any questions about, maybe you want me to go through a certain player, just let me know and I can do that before I hop off here and deep dive them if you guys have some questions and discuss some of their stats and stuff. We can play around. Let's see. Let me pull up, kind of see what you can do with some of these builds for tomorrow. So if you start with Scotty, it leaves you 74. I mean, I think it's definitely doable. I mean, when we're talking about one round, stuff, I think it's quite a bit different than full tournament, because any of these cheap guys can play good for one round. We almost saw Fred Couples play fine for one round. So that can be done. And I think that gives me a little more, possibility to skip some of these upper guys. So I think Scotty is a little more in play. I think Rahm is a decent bounce back, but Cam Young, I mentioned I still like Fleetwood quite a bit. Harris English, I like him a lot. Adam Scott, I liked that. Some of his stuff today as well. 77. Let's see here. I think Gotterup's a pretty good play. Bridgman, I think he's fine, as well. 7,900. Both those guys in the sevens. You start throwing these seven, guys in there with like Tommy and Cam Young. I mean, you can fill out a really solid looking team for sure, and kind of land in that upper sevens quite a bit, because there's a lot of good plays in the upper 7 K range. So gonna try to do these for round 3, and we'll almost certainly do it for round 4. We'll see about tomorrow night with the schedule and what I've got going on. It'll probably be around the same time, 9:30, 9:45. Chris likes Day and Burns. Yeah, let me pull that up really quick. I haven't even looked at his round 2 pool. So yeah, so Jason Day, so he's got a initial pull up. So we can talk through that. If you guys are still with me at this point, I don't mind giving away a little bit of premium stuff. So Chris has got Rory, Xander, Burns, Day, and Rose. So he does like, it's hard to argue with how Sam Burns played today that he's not going to go back that up, because it wasn't something fluky. Again, I think it's a little more of like a mental block for me on playing people like that. But Rose, I mean, he was very good. I think that is a solid, play. Watched him, here and there, and it's almost to me like the Phil thing when he won at Kiowa. If you remember, like Phil's big thing was focusing on every single shot, like to the fullest. And every time I watch Justin Rose, it feels like that's exactly what he's doing. Like he is putting every single thing he has into every single shot, and pays off. So yeah, I think Rose is good. Let's see, Burns, yeah, and then Jason Day is his other one as of right now, and I'm sure he'll probably add a few more, tonight as well. Let's look at Day a little more in depth, because I didn't go super in depth with Day, but yeah, he's pretty cheap. We talked about that he'd done a lot of it putting, but he was solid, throughout the bag at 3 under. Started out kind of not very good, to be honest. I mean, he lost one and a quarter strokes through the first 4 holes. Probably was maybe lucky to even be 1 over through those holes, and then he really turned it around. The back 9 was a great back 9 for him. So similar thing to like what I said with Cam Young. J-Day really turned it on there on the back 9, and a firm and fast Masters is going to fit Jason Day. So I think Chris is on to something with that for sure. I'll definitely have exposure to Jason Day across my 4 lineups there for tomorrow. So that's all I've got. Good luck to everybody. Oh, how does he play in second rounds? Yeah, let's see. There is something to that sometimes. So Jason Day is not great in round 2 out of this group. A lot of that comes down to like these people that are straddling cut lines just aren't very good because it's added pressure. And a lot of times you hear PGA Tour players talk about how cut pressure is almost the same as winning pressure. So Minwoo, Minwoo is good in round 2. So almost got to think he's for sure bouncing back tomorrow. Although he is very good at round 1 as well. But Bridgman, Gerard has been good, but I just don't like the putting that he did today. Well, I like it, but I don't like thinking he's going to back that up. Rory and Scotty, Jake Knapp, I think that's a really good look. If you look at like Brooks has been really good in round 2 after he's like not good at all in round 1. So there's one if you're into that type of thing. Harris English has been really good in round 2. So, you can make a lot of stats fit the narratives that you want, I guess. But yeah. So that's I'll try to post my final 3 or 4 man core in the chat here in just a bit as well when we get off. But you're kind of seeing where I'm going. Cam Young's for sure going to be in there. Jay Day may be in there now that we deep dove him, and we kind of seen that he really played well there on his back nine, just like Cam Young. But good luck to everybody tomorrow. We'll see you back for round 3 tomorrow night. Good luck.